Today I'm going to be sharing what I eat in a day as a nutritionist, but also what my husband eats in a day as well. We both have very different goals. I'm personally on my postpartum weight loss journey. He's personally looking to really increase muscle mass. So our goals are quite different, so our meals will look a bit different as well. So I'm going to be sharing our full day of what we eat in a day. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance, and today's video is sponsored by Purity. More on them in a bit. Okay, so as I mentioned, my goal is body recomposition. So focus on losing body fat percentage while maintaining or slightly increasing muscle mass. Trevor's goal is to increase muscle mass while, like, are you looking to lose body fat or mostly just maintain? Yeah, he's more focused on increasing his muscle mass, maintaining his body fat, maybe slightly decreasing. So our goals are kind of a little opposite. But to start off the day, I was about to go to the gym, but Sage woke up, who is our daughter. I had to feed her. She spat up on me. Probably gonna have to change the shirt. So I decided I'm just gonna have my coffee first and then I'm going to go work out. Before this, I just drank a lot of water, made sure I'm really hydrated, especially during the fasted state. But now it's time for coffee. Fiji. So normally I would go work out before I have my coffee, but just because of the time that Sage woke up, I decided to feed her first. Now I just want to have my coffee before I'm gonna go work out. I tend to switch it up on what I'm going to use in my coffee. Lately, I've been liking using a creamer like Nut Pods. So up until this point, I've had 100% pure fast. It is 6:51, so it's actually been about 13 hours of a true fast. And now I'm going to be going into what's called fasting mimicking, which is where my body is still using fat as fuel, but I have introduced something other than just water. This is a strategy I like, especially for beginners to intermittent fasting, or just if you like to add a little something to your coffee. The key is making sure that you're using a small amount of some type of mostly pure fat source, because fat doesn't raise insulin, so it's not going to throw the body out of a fat burning state. So if I'm not using Nut Pods, I'll use like heavy cream or a little bit of half and half, or I'll make keto coffee. It really just depends on the day. I have a full live stream going into what breaks a fast. If you guys want to check that out, I'll have it linked up here. But specifically what I've been using for literally like what, 6 years? I'm not even sure at this point, a really long time. The only coffee that I drink is Purity. I love Purity because every aspect of what they do focuses on health. They optimize for antioxidants, they test for mold and mold toxins, which for myself personally with a history of anxiety, I found that moldy coffee really spikes my anxiety, and Purity does not do that for me. Plus, they just came out with a really cool new blend called Balance. So if you are really sensitive to caffeine, but you like a little bit of caffeine, this is 1/3 caffeinated, which especially right now, I've not been having full caffeine. So having the 1/3 caffeinated has been a huge game changer for me, because I don't have to be like doing a chemistry set of mixing the caffeinated and decaf and buying 2 separate coffees. Their new Balance option does that for me, and it smells so good. It tastes amazing. It gives me like just enough of that little bit of a boost with the caffeine where I'm not going to be too caffeinated all day. I love it. And Purity is offering my community 30% off Balance when you use code AUTUMNBALANCE30. This code is good until January 31st, so make sure you stock up on some coffee. So good. Literally, Purity is the only coffee that we've been drinking for years. Can't recommend it enough. I'll also have the link down description below if you guys want to check out Purity and their new brew Balance.
Cheers.
I would normally go to the gym around like 4:45 or 5 a.m. after fed Sage. We go to bed really, really early now. And then I would have coffee when I got back. But today I'm having coffee first. Cheers. And then go ahead and work out. Trev, you kind of like working out fed now, right?
Yeah, I before was doing fasting, and then now I like doing it in the afternoon, just because I'm a little bit more awake. I've had some food. It just works out with our schedule. You know, it's hard with the little one. Yeah, exactly.
With exercise and intermittent fasting, the biggest thing is just making sure that it fits your schedule, and preferably not having your exercise be too close to when you're going to bed, because that could disrupt sleep quality. I know some people feel best when they work out after they've eaten, which is great if that's how you get your best workout in. I personally feel best when I've worked out in a fasted state. I actually really prefer going to the gym super early because it's way less crowded, but it is what it is. Still gonna get a good workout in. spit up all over me. Trevor is going to be making my breakfast for me, but in the meantime, because it's gonna take like 5 or 10 minutes to make, I just am going to also have, to go along with my breakfast, some of my chocolate protein powder, my 0 sugar chocolate protein powder. Get a scoop of that to get 10 grams of complete protein, and then a cup of milk. Normally, I wouldn't have this, or I might have it like right alongside my meal to get that extra bit of protein with my meal. But since my schedule's a little off because I worked out a little bit later, I'm just having this right now while my breakfast is being made. So good. Like literally this is like a treat. Tastes like chocolate milk. If you guys haven't tested out my 0 sugar chocolate protein powder, I'll have it linked down in the description below, but you can also find it on my website at autumnlnutrition.com/shop. With a body recomposition goal where I'm looking to keep muscle mass so I can keep my metabolism high, but also lose body fat, making sure to have plenty of high quality protein sources. So I'm gonna be having this plus my protein waffles, which you guys will see in just a second. So Trevor is like the absolute protein waffle master. Since I have him here, he's going to be making my protein waffles for me. I'm having him make 2 servings because our waffle maker makes 2 servings anyway. That way I can just have tomorrow's, pop it in the toaster, and like it's ready to go. Sometimes we'll also do a huge batch of waffles, make like 20 something waffles at a time, and then stick them in the freezer, and then we just pop them in the toaster, like healthy, high protein Eggos. What did you just say?
I might as well make mine too.
It's like he got such FOMO from making mine, but now he wants his own. So now Trevor's making his. He's just gonna repeat the whole process, but this will be all for 1 serving for him. Mine will be a total of about 26 grams of complete protein, plus I'm going to be adding on some skyr, as you'll see in a second, which will add more protein. Trevor's is, what is that, 26 plus 26, that's 52, and you add skyr?
Yeah.
Trevor's is about 60 grams. Whoa.
Ooh.
So for his goals, Trevor does need even more protein than I do because he has much more muscle repair from his workouts than I will have, but it's still important for me to have a higher protein intake for repairing my muscles during the weight loss process and because I am resistance training. So to keep the sugar content of this very low, we are using blueberries instead of something like maple syrup as a topping. So I'm going to saute up some frozen blueberries, and this kind of acts as like the maple syrup to our break fast. Before we have our waffles, we're just gonna have our ACV sipper. Cheers. Trev's doing peanut butter topping for his. He's also going to do some of the blueberries. He lately has been loving putting some pomegranate seeds on his. Well, did you cut all of that?
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to cut it.
I had no idea.
Watch, I'll show you. This is what you do. You cut it like that, and you like this.
Whoa.
And then it breaks open. So it's nice and easy. And then you just go.
Learning something new every day. And then he's also topping his with some of my homemade Greek yogurt. I'm going to be using skyr just purely because for toppings, I prefer skyr. It's a little bit thicker, but we use my homemade Greek yogurt a lot for either toppings or for our smoothies. So the biggest differences between mine and Trevor's for our first meal is that Trevor's has about double the amount of protein, although mine is still really high in protein. We both use low sugar toppings, but Trevor adds in a lot more toppings. He adds in the pumpkin seeds and the cacao nibs. Since he is focused on a lot more like increasing muscle mass than I am, he does need a little bit more energy, which is why all those extra toppings are important for him too. Okay, Trevor's going to go take Sage on a walk so I can get some work done, and I'm just going to fill up my water, have some electrolytes, and take a quick shower. So for lunch, I made just a super simple cottage cheese bowl. So it has a lot of protein. This has about 28 grams of complete protein just from the cottage cheese. I also have some almond butter in here for some high quality fat to keep me satiated, and then 1 Honey Crisp apple. So even though apples are a little bit higher in sugar, they're actually a really low glycemic load, especially when combined with high quality proteins and fats. Also just realized I forgot to take my cod liver oil, so I'll be taking that with my lunch as well. Trevor absolutely hates cottage cheese though. I'm totally 100% team cottage cheese, so he'll be having something different. In fact, Trevor is like just now walking in from coming back from the gym, so he'll probably be making his lunch right now. So what are you making?
Sausage.
Graceful. So there's some breakfast sausage that we get from Whole Foods. What are you having with it?
Some eggies.
So
Some
clearly Trevor and I
eggies.
both like having kind of breakfasty style lunches as well. Eggs are actually a pretty common lunch that we both will have. Definitely lunch is probably the lightest meal of the day for you, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you eat
Well,
a
usually it's
huge
like
breakfast.
after I work out.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to eat like right after working out. But also I have a huge breakfast. Plus this.
That has about 21 grams of complete protein. So actually my lunch had more protein than yours. So you did have a huge breakfast. So that's a big difference.
The whole
So
crew
if you
here.
want some.
This is our second dinner table. Actually, it's like the third dinner table.
Just sitting on the ground.
It's sitting on the ground in the kitchen, hanging out with Sage
Yeah.
and Sophie.
We're gonna be going on about a 45-minute or an hour walk right now just to get some movement in. And I didn't really get all of my normal walks throughout the day because I was really busy working. So we're gonna go on one long one right now, and then I'm gonna start making dinner. It's 4:30 and I'm starting dinner. I have the bacon cooking because I'm making some bacon Brussels sprouts along with my mini meatloaf that I shared in one of my recent What I Eat in a Day videos. I'll have it linked right up here. Starting now so that we can eat dinner by 5:30 because with Sage now we go to bed at like 7:30 or 8, so we have a pretty early bedtime. To make the meatloaf, I just combined ground beef with some ground onions, some ground garlic, some thyme, salt, and then some of this zero sugar barbecue sauce from Primal Kitchens. Just mashed up, and then I form 4 little like meatloaf mixtures, and then I top each of the little mini meatloafs with some more of the zero sugar barbecue sauce. From there, I just bake it for about like 22 minutes until the meatloafs are done. I also last minute decided to make some cauliflower rice to go along with this, so I just got some frozen cauliflower that I had in the freezer, added in some frozen green peas, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some salt, and some paprika, and some olive oil. I then throw it in the oven for about 15 or 20 minutes. It tastes so much better than sauteing up frozen cauliflower rice. If you haven't tried baking cauliflower rice before, definitely recommend trying it out. Okay, so this is my plate and this is Trevor's. So it might be hard to tell. Trevor's meatloafs are a little bit bigger than mine, although they're like roughly the same size. I also gave him generally a lot more of the vegetable component. This is a cauliflower rice mixture that I made, and then the bacon Brussels. So he just generally has more on his plate. I have essentially the same thing, but just a little bit less. So now we're just gonna go ahead and eat our dinner. We also love having sparkling water. We have this every single night. But as you can see, the biggest differences between myself and Trevor's meals mostly comes down to breakfast. That's the biggest one. And then dinners, I usually give Trevor a little bit more. It's only focusing on you for some reason. But if you guys want to see an example of what it is that we eat in a week, you can check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll see you in the next video.